joining us. Today we're going to be speaking to Agnes Aldana, who is a optimizing specialist for Facebook ads and also a client attraction specialist for specifically working with health coaches. And I'm very, very excited about having Agnes here with us today because, as you know, the world of Facebook ads is a little bit crazy. And some of us go into that, way of thinking boosting posts is going to get us our clients, but it doesn't always work. And we end up spending a lot of money on things that sort of don't really get us where we need to. So thank you very much for joining us, Agnes. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you as well for inviting me. And I'm doing really well. I'm just trying to get through my morning coffee. So you're going to see me sipping on this big mug. So yeah, good. Enjoying the Saturday morning.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday as well. So I'll kick off with our first question, which is basically one of the things I notice with a lot of new health coaches, especially and new start businesses, is they sort of have a few blocks about setting up that Facebook business page.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, what do you think the benefits are of having a Facebook page set up specifically for our business?
That is a great question. You're so right. I see a lot of new health coaches continuing to post on their personal page, and it's definitely the first thing that I advise them to do. Like, forget everything else, just start a Facebook page. And why this is good, and look, not just for health coaches, but for any coach, right? Because I'm sure your ladies aren't just health coaches, is first and foremost, it helps you have that professional presence online. It is you as a business, although we are representing ourselves as health coaches, it is your first foray into actually representing yourself as a business. And it makes sure that you're able to isolate those, more business-like posts, whether it's, your recipes or your, health tips, or for life coaches, whether it's your, tips for, unblocking things, etc., or more spiritual tips. It helps you then just isolate them to somewhere where people can see more about you without having to flood your friends and family who probably sometimes are really, really not interested in those. It is your first foray into getting it in front of the right audience. And that's really what you want to be doing as a coach, right? Because you don't want to be, you want to be purposeful in getting yourself out there. And the Facebook page is a really great way to do that. And with coaches as well, unlike other brick and mortar businesses, a big part of our strategy, to get people to work with us is really, showing people how we live in association with what we are selling, of course. And that is really, that's really a great way for us to show how we walk the talk. So again, for health coaches, it's, what you're eating, what are you cooking, what's your fitness routine, so that people develop that know, like, trust factor with you. And it's really the first step in what I call a healthy sales funnel, which is a way of moving people from just not knowing you or being a totally cold lead into eventually, in a non-icky way, being able to work with you or seeing you as the natural next step for them to work with. Facebook, from a more generic aspect, Facebook is continuing to invest a lot of money into ensuring that it is a viable, sustainable platform. Like, lots of billions of people are in Facebook, right? And our target clients have got to be there somewhere. And compared to Instagram, Twitter, and those other platforms, Facebook has a really high conversion rate in terms of commerce. So whether it's for e-commerce or for coaches getting actual clients, and this is especially because of the amount they're investing into data mining and being able to help you really target people when it comes to Facebook ads. And that's really the most important reason for me, is if you don't have a Facebook page, then you can't actually utilize the power of Facebook ads and all the super amazing back-end tools that there are to get in front of the audiences that you want to help.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that as you said, Facebook are very, very, they've come up with all these cool things now, like Facebook Live, which
Mhm.
is kind of done Periscope and
Absolutely.
Cat out of their jobs.
Correct.
But they're really coming up with these amazing things. And really your Facebook business page is like a mini website these days. You can add
Correct.
so many things. I've actually just found out how to do a clickable Facebook cover, which is pretty cool.
There you go.
So many.
It allows you to do all of those things. It allows you to add little apps that can either lead to your website for your free opt-ins. You're right. It's like a mini website. And I really encourage people that don't get stuck on building your website yet. Definitely set up that Facebook page.
Yeah.
And that's a really great point around Facebook Live as well, is Facebook are really keen on getting video out there to a lot more people. So it's a piece of content that they know people like and love. At some point in the next 5 years, the prediction is that 80% of our news feeds will actually be some form of video. So absolutely agree with that as well. So combining the power of the greater organic reach of Facebook Live with Facebook ads, that's another win. Mm-hmm.
And it really helps. I think video really helps connect people to you as well, because you get to see the real you. Seeing a photo of someone or some writing doesn't always connect people to that real person. So on the Facebook ads, so this is the part that sends a lot of health coaches and any kind of specialty people. This sort of is the thing that causes people the most heartache.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to Facebook ads, how important is it?
Yes, Facebook ads are really important because they really help you leverage your time. Look, a lot of coaches that are just starting out part-time, right? So you only have like a couple of hours a day and you don't really have a lot of time to network and to physically go to different gyms, different yoga studios, etc., to build a community and build relationships and get that visibility. And what I love about Facebook ads is it really helps you shortcut that. It helps you get yourself in front of brand new audiences. And not just that. So it's not just about increasing visibility, but increasing it in a targeted way as well. So Facebook ads can actually help you get yourself in front of targeted audiences that potentially already want to hear about the same thing, about your message, about your services and programs. And it's not just about, so I know a lot of people, have Facebook pages. Let's say they have a Facebook page, and a big question I get asked about is, how do I increase my visibility? And I always ask them the next question of why. Why do you want to increase your visibility? Because I want to increase my engagement. Why do you want to increase your engagement? Right? So Facebook ads used correctly are a really good way to look, visibility and engagement are great. They make you feel good. But when you use Facebook ads correctly with the right targeting, with a correct setup, they can actually help your target audiences take the correct sorts of action for you and for themselves so that they get a lot closer to that transformation that you really want to get them as a health coach, a life coach, or just in general as a coach, right? So Facebook ads are a fantastic way to actually, position yourself as an expert by getting really valuable content in front of new audiences, right? So whether it's a free ebook, it's a free challenge, it's a free webinar. And the other great thing is that, because let's face it, some people have different sorts of blocks around putting themselves out there in a way that starts to become a little bit closer to the sale. So, they get a bit shy about, but I don't want people on my Facebook page every day to keep seeing that, hey, I've got a new webinar coming up in 2 weeks, or hey, I've got a new ebook that's out. Which is why, again, I love the dark posts function of Facebook ads, because you can actually have the same sort of promotion running. When I say promotion, it can be a free thing as well. So you have the same ebook available, and so your promotion about your ebook available to target audiences for, let's say, 2 straight weeks without people on your page actually getting bombarded with that same post. So if you didn't have a Facebook ad, you'd actually have to go post that today, post it tomorrow, post it again tomorrow. And the sad thing is that with organic reach being super low, so at any given point in time, only 1 to 2% of your actual page likers are actually seeing what you post.
Yeah.
So look, when you look at your reach numbers, it may look like you're reaching quite a lot of people, but all that means is that Facebook served your content to them in some way. But that may mean that it's like the bottom of their news feed, and it's like somewhere that they're not seeing it. So the actual number of people that, either because they happen to be there at the right time when you posted it, or that they scrolled down enough to see your post, is only 1 to 2%. And again, Facebook ads helps you get around that.
Yeah.
Using Facebook ads from a small budget in a well thought out way is really that first critical step in your list building and for getting people to enter your sales funnel.
Yeah. And so the difference between boosting, which I have,
love this topic.
I think I have shares in Facebook from boosting. I have always been a serial booster. So what is the, obviously targeting is a big thing. I've noticed there's so much, you can target down a lot more with the ads, but what are some of the main, what's wrong with boosting?
I know. So I call it the evil boost post button, and I have a lot of rants about this just because, look, it's the easiest way for Facebook to make money. It's really the easiest way for marketing team to make money. Well, I know they're doing a lot of good things because it's very tempting for people that are not educated about Facebook ads to just click on that button and just go with the default budget that they are asking you. And look, depending on the size of your page you're following, it may ask you to, pay $5, $17, even $30+ just to boost the post to either your page likers or your page likers' friends. And the problem with that is, obviously, more recently, Facebook has allowed you to do a bit more targeting with those boost posts, which they didn't really have before, which is why it was more evil before. It's a little less evil now because if you know what you're doing, you will not use the usual likers or likers friends only, or you can include them, but not the likers friends for sure, as your audience. But so that in a way that's good. It's a little bit less evil, but it's more the mentality around why people boost posts. So the regular way, normal way that I see people boosting posts is like, oh, there's this quote. I really want to get engagement and visibility. That's why I'm going to boost this post, right?
Yeah.
Or this is me. This is a really delicious smoothie recipe. I'm going to boost it. Which is, hey, you know what? Each time you boost a post, you're definitely going to get some form of result. Like you're going to get more visibility, you're going to get more maybe clicks to your website. But what is actually important that you need to consider before boosting a post is, what am I actually boosting this post for? And it needs to be in a way that you need to be really savvy and target specific people with your boosted posts. And most importantly, make sure that you are boosting posts that very, very specifically enhance your position as an expert that people want to work with eventually.
Yeah.
That allows them at some point, at a very immediate point, to actually join your mailing list.
Yeah.
And that is the problem, because most people will just click on something and you get the warm and fuzzies and you get more visibility, but you know what, the next day you still have no mailing list. And as an online coach, no mailing list really means no consistent source of ideal health coaching clients.
Yeah.
So yes, on a number of levels, there is it makes you a bit less purposeful in paying for those ads, which means you're wasting money. Number two, it doesn't allow you as specific targeting as creating an ad with, let's say, Power Editor will allow you to do, and that really helps you drill down, narrow your audiences, exclude certain audiences, retarget and repurpose audiences using the powerful pixel tools that Facebook has on the back end, have custom audiences built up. It doesn't allow you ordinarily to have that embedded call to action button that you see in most ads, where you have text, where you've got an image, and where you've got the learn more, download here now sort of action button. And a topic I'm really passionate about that, again, you can't get with boost posts is success in Facebook ads is a lot about testing. You can know you think you know your targeting, you think you've got it right, but a lot of what can make you a success is about testing, and Boost Posts doesn't allow you to do that. When you use the Power Editor tool, you've got the ability to be able to segment your ads either by copy, by creatives, by audiences, and that really gives you a lot of information that you can then funnel back into going, how can I make my next Facebook ad campaign more effective so I can reach more of the people that I want to reach and get them to really take that action that I want them to take.
Yeah. Can I just ask you, that sort of brings up something for me, especially because a lot of my girls are just starting out and have just set up their Facebook page. And I think we fall into the trap of having, for one, we're just starting to build our content. So people are scared of even inviting people to the page with no content. For me, I just say get out there, start doing it.
Absolutely.
But if you say are just starting and you have invited some friends, but you still only have a little bit, do you have a strategy on how to build likes? Maybe without promoting, or would that be something you would look to do through the Power Editor on Facebook?
Absolutely. So my advice to very new health coaches is actually, well, there are a number of ways that you can do it, and it just really depends on how much time you have, right? And I actually just talked about that in my masterclass this morning. And it's a very common question, like, hey, how do we, again, talk about what, because people always say, hey, I want to get more likes and visibility. For what, right? Because eventually you want to get more clients, right? This is not just about, obviously when you're in here as a health coach or as a life coach, any coach trying to build a business, the idea is that you have that Facebook page in there to help you build your business, right? So when people say, how can I get more likes? I always ask them the question of why. Or because I want to get more health coaching. Okay, well, let's get you to the point where you actually get clients then. So the first step to that is really doing your list building. Okay, so I'm talking more about the time efficient way here. We could, at the end, I can tap on if you have lots of time techniques. But so let's talk about the efficient way to do this first. Like I tell people, look, most of us health coaches already have tons and tons of those like photos about your life, about your recipes. Like I must have had like, hundreds of my food shares on my personal page before I even started my Facebook page. Repurpose those. It doesn't matter. You know what? Just, post them on your Facebook page, even like in one day. Put all of those that represent you, represent you well. Obviously, don't put those posts that you've obviously evolved from in terms of your health philosophy. Even put them there, have 2 weeks worth of content there. You don't have to wait a full 2 weeks, but just so that people see, like you've got some, if you're about helping people with food, with cooking, then have those different types of posts there, just so people see what you're about. And I would immediately start using MailChimp, for example, to build a super simple form, or what I call a landing page. So a landing page is really a page that is distractions free, doesn't have to be on your website, and just tells people about what you are offering for free. So for example, a free ebook, a free challenge, or a free fitness challenge, or an assessment. Have a simple form on MailChimp that people can sign up for. Post that on your page. Use Facebook ads to actually get that in front of people that, you obviously have to experiment, but get that in front of as many people as possible in the healthy eating niche, so that you're already capturing these emails. You're already starting your sales funnel. You're already starting that know, like, trust process by only having a Facebook page, a really simple like MailChimp landing page. Like, look, it can take you, I've done demos of this. I'm sure you have too. And you can create that in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you are already getting 5-10 steps closer to being able to be of service to these people as their coach.
Absolutely.
So just getting the likes and visibility is really, it's really not the right goal. The right goal is to be able to get them to a position where you can consistently build value, add value to them, build relationships with them. And that's really by getting them into your mailing list. Look, once they're there, you may opt to actually ask them to join a group as well, if you have time to maintain a group. And most likely, if they end up downloading something from you, they like it, they're going to end up liking your page anyway. So most importantly, get your priorities right, build that mailing list. In the process, they're going to like your page anyway. And I can totally attest to the fact that you don't need to have a lot of likers to be able to already be in business as a coach.
Yeah, perfect. And I think in the early stages of business, I guess the other thing that really we struggle with is trying to work out who our ideal client is and how to narrow that down. So as a client attraction specialist, do you have any tips or anything that you can, any beautiful pieces of advice that you can give us to help us with that?
I love this topic. Super passionate about it because you are right. People do tend to get stuck on this, and not just beginner coaches, even people that have been in the business for some time end up second guessing themselves, because the most common way of that people are taught to do this is, hey, you have to have a niche. Number two is, hey, you have to have answer the super detailed questionnaire of, so how old is this person? What health issue are they suffering from? What did they eat? Where did they shop? What books do they read? Have they got kids? And you know what? That is so painful. I remember it's like, this is usually called an avatar, right? So you're asked to form this ridiculous customer avatar that mostly you're just guessing about. And I used to get really stumped to such a point that when I was still studying at IIN, or Institute of Integrative Nutrition, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to have a niche. I'm never, ever going to have a niche. I'm doomed. So what I decided to do, that's a fantastic question, because I guess what people can really start with, there are a number of starting points here. And number one, obviously, is your mess is your message, you know. Most of us started health coaching with a particular health issue that we were trying to overcome. Even as life coaches, if you had like a particular issue in your life or blocks that you were trying to overcome. And that makes you, you know, really, really authentic when you try to serve people, and when you try to, you know, write emails, when you try to draft Facebook ad copy, when you try to craft free things for them, is that you already know what these people, what you in particular went through. So first tip is really interview yourself, okay? Interview yourself and write down, what are the problems that I used to struggle with? You know, what are the things that, you know, it's not about the person. So I've got a really problem and solution oriented focus, by the way. So it's not even about the who are you helping. It's the what are you helping with, because that bunch of problems amalgamated makes up your ideal client, right? So what are the problems that I used to have? Like, I didn't have time to work out. I was very resistant to that. Or for example, like I found it really hard to shop for healthy food and never knew what to buy, or I never had time to cook things, or found it too difficult to cook things. Or I was so sick of like farting a lot, you know, at dinners, you know, I'm not kidding. So this is actually, this has happened for some of my clients. So you'll make a list of those problems, and there is no shame at all, by the way, in still continuing to deal with those problems. So some health coaches get very, very stuck and say, oh, but I haven't fixed it yet. That's fine. You know, to be a leader, you just need to be at least one step ahead.
Yeah.
You know?
Any
at least
help
one step
these
ahead.
people is
Correct.
help. I like to tell my girls too.
Exactly. So you just need to be at least one step ahead, and believe me, you already are. So that is one piece, which is to interview yourself. Sometimes though, and I know this is always hard, because sometimes you get a bit stuck on, it's been a few years now since you had those issues, and you've kind of feeling a bit detached from what those issues were, because you live a different life now. Even just 1 year at IAN is very transforming, and like, you used to be the person that was clueless about smoothies, for example, and now you won't go a day without it. So that makes you quite a different person, right? So the next tip that I really have is around interviewing as many people as possible. Interviewing as many people as possible. Don't even bother about, so obviously they've got to have some kind of health issue. You may not want to niche it down yet. Just interview them, because you're going to get two important things from this. You're going to see patterns of what people usually suffer from when they have a health issue and how to deal with that, right? And I actually, even as an IAN student, I was one of those crazy people that, because I was so niche panicked, I ended up doing hundreds of interviews. I just got it out there. I ran Facebook ads that I was doing like interviews, and that if I could give them tips, I was going to do that. I ended up having a whole repertoire, and it's such a powerful source of information around what I ended up you know what? Guess what? I ended up working with people that were more like me, that were people that were very stressed, had adrenal fatigue issues, that were pre-diabetic, that had lots of inflammation happening in their body, and that wanted real results, but that were very curious. These weren't just the people that wanted to be told what to do. These were the people that were a bit geeky and wanted to know, so why is this happening to me? And so that became a big part of my marketing and my messaging. The number 2 benefit that you can get from interviewing a lot of people is really, you get to understand what would actually motivate someone to work with a health coach. Because let's face it, unlike even nutritionists, dietitians, and personal trainers have their own issues. Even naturopaths, they even have their own issues, and they're already established professions, right? But especially being a health coach, and it's quite new, right? It's like, what is a health coach? It's really interesting to find out, once I started explaining to them, so this is what I do as a health coach. I'm more about your everyday. I'm more about helping make change from those daily activities that you already have. And I actually found out that, oh, okay, well, I'd want to work with someone like you then. So you actually end up finding out a lot about what would make them want to work with you. So, and I think that's total gold. All right. So some of that is around being able to then understand what problems you help with. And that's a really key point, is once you've got all of that information, then what do you do with it? Make sure that you then pick some key problems that you want to tackle as a health coach. Not just from an overall helping perspective, because we end up helping people with a number of problems, right? Like when you have a signature program that's, let's say, 4 weeks long, 3 to 6 months long, you end up helping people with a whole range of issues from, their shopping, their cooking, helping them listen to their body, etc. But pick some of those problems that you immediately want to help with. And that is so important when crafting your opt-in or your freebie. Because the one common problem that I see when people start to get an opt-in out there is it's like, hey, download my 10 to 30 page thing about how you can transform your life, have lots of energy, boost your energy, transform your... So it's super, super general. Number 1, 30 pages is too long. So never do that. Yeah. Number 2 is if you just get something out there of like boost your vitality, people are like, okay, well, that's you're going to get some downloads, but it's probably not the people that are going to work with you.
Yeah.
But if you actually position that opt-in as, I like to talk about it as the aspirin versus vitamin theory. So if you position it as an aspirin of something that fixes an immediate headache for them, then they are really more likely to download that opt-in and join your list. And then you can build your expertise around that, around giving them what they want for now, so that when you help them in the future, you give them what they actually need.
Yeah.
So that
I love that phrase. That's amazing.
That understanding of problems versus, helps you become the solution. So we as health coaches need to see ourselves as problem solvers, as solution providers. So have a problem focus. Know that when you craft your end-to-end programs, that obviously you're going to help with all those problems or portions of them. So this is key again when forming your packages, is not all your packages are going to help with everything, right?
Yeah.
But especially when you're starting to build your list, and this is where this question is coming from, is really try to have a mini solution to one of their biggest problems. Do people lack time for exercise? Is that one of the things that's sort of at the back of their mind? So then you can go, and if they're moms, you can go, hey moms, here's like really easy kitchen bench workouts that you can do while the kids are eating a snack. And moms will be like, oh, well, the kids are eating a snack. I want that. Like, okay, even though later on you might get them into like some full-on workout and health program, at the beginning, that's what they need, and you're giving them that. So that's just one example.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of us, especially when I first started out as a health coach, I gave so much away free. And I really love how you just pointed out 30 pages is too long because I see it over and over again with my clients is they keep going, I'll give this free and I'll give this free. Yes, free stuff is amazing, but repurpose it into a program, or do the little taster opt-in like you said. I love how you've used that aspirin versus Panadol.
Absolutely.
Do the aspirin
versus a
first.
vitamin, because an aspirin is
Versus
actually
vitamin,
something.
sorry.
Yeah, it will fix a headache for you versus a vitamin, which is just an extra. It's okay if you don't have that.
Yeah.
So you need to be, and you're right, like there's nothing bad about giving and giving value. In fact, I believe in giving, it's almost impossible to give away everything that you know. It really is almost impossible. So you could be having new opt-ins every week, but the important thing is, again, focusing on being a mini solution and you don't want to overwhelm people because they want to be feeling that they had some small measure of success just by downloading that thing. So if all that you did was help them drink, for example, lemon water in the morning, and then they start to feel like a lot of positive effects from that, they're not going to forget you. They're definitely going to remember you as that beautiful person that taught them that in the first place, and they're going to want to know more. Yeah. And they're going to want to work with you at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Oh gosh, that's so great. That's really good info there. Thank you. So I guess probably sort of finishing off, one of the things I know you've covered a bit of it already, but when we're talking about Facebook ads, what makes them successful? What's your recipe to success with the
recipe? Okay, so I'm going to preface that by saying that a Facebook ad isn't just going to Facebook, clicking on create ad, and that's it, and doing all the things that you need to do. So I consider a successful Facebook ad campaign as an actual process that is very, very replicable. Look, it's not difficult, but if you know the steps, and you can do this each time, and it definitely starts with the answer to the previous question, which is understanding first who your ideal client is in terms of what problems they have or what problem sets they have. And I assume that when we're talking about Facebook ads here, we're talking in the context of building someone's business, in terms of building their list, right?
Yeah.
So when you understand people's problems and you can become a mini solution to that, then that is already the first step, because that is going to permeate your copy, and that is going to permeate all the other activities there, such as deciding what opt-in to offer in the first place, right? So if you're addressing the time to work out issue, then as I said earlier, you might want to offer new moms that whole, 3-minute workouts on the kitchen bench while the kids eat a snack. If you are addressing a I don't know what to buy issue, then you might be launching a healthy shopping list or something like that. If it's I don't have time to cook issue, it may be different, right? So it really helps to understand those problems so that you can craft an effective campaign. And number 2 is now that you understand those problems, it's getting your targeting right. It's really doing that research of, okay, I love the other thing, by the way, that I forgot to mention for ideal clients, is being part of those Facebook groups where your ideal clients are.
Yeah.
It really shows you what sort of questions they're asking, what emotional, so like I'm part of the PCOS group, like the emotional pull that there is around these problems.
And I think using their language.
Absolutely.
We get caught up in using
your language.
Yeah. Language that, and maybe it's like a doctor when a doctor speaks to you, like, what did you just say?
What are you saying? I know. So that is a big part of what I actually do with health coaches, is exactly that. It's using the language. So looking for where they are, so important. That's why targeting is important. You can use a lot of Facebook's research tools to go if they're in this group or if they're in that page. So what other things do they like? Where are they? So I can target them with my ads. Number 3 is that landing page. And it's really important that that landing page, again, focuses on solving a problem, uses the client language, needs to have all these other more technical components to it, such as not having distractions. So I see a lot of health coaches offering links to quote unquote landing pages that are just really a page on their website. A landing page needs to have no distractions. It just needs to be all about that opt-in and capturing that email address. You don't want people clicking on the right to view your profile, clicking on this other thing on a blog post. You want to be able to keep them in the landing page, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, so, and again, you can use lead pages for that. You can use ClickFunnels. So there are a number of ways to build that. But when you're just getting started, use MailChimp. Use MailChimp because that form is already your landing page.
Yeah.
And after that, of course, so the fourth thing is the Facebook ad copy, which again, really, really comes from understanding your ideal client. How are they talking about their problems? And once you've actually written your landing page, it's not very hard, because I end up advising people that just reuse portions of that, maybe the first part of that, and definitely the image from the landing page, because people want consistency. If you've got one set of copy in your ad and another set of copy in your landing page, they are less likely to convert, right? So you want the same set of images and copies, literally just copy maybe the top portion of that, move that to your ad, maybe add a call to action sentence, and that will make it a really powerful ad coupled with the other four things that I mentioned. And last but not the least is knowing your numbers and having a strategy. So again, understanding what you're using that Facebook ad for. Is it part of a funnel? What are you trying to promote? Are you just list building right now, which is fine as well? And knowing your numbers, meaning if you have just started running your Facebook ad campaign, it's really being a geek in terms of that reporting, experimenting with different segments and audiences, looking at what's working for you, and using that information to then power your future Facebook ads.
Yeah, excellent. I noticed too, this is something you already know, I'm sure, but you can actually, once you start building your list, there's a way for you to target your MailChimp list in the Facebook editor, which I think is pretty cool, because not everyone opens your emails. But mostly everyone's on Facebook.
Correct. Most of people are on Facebook. People kind of have email fatigue, but it's still important to send them emails. And I think I started talking about this earlier around, why don't you boost your posts? So because you can't do that retargeting, right? So, and that retargeting is part of the powerful suite of back-end Facebook tools that allows you to use their powerful pixels on your website. Also use people that have already visited your landing page, for example. So there are a lot of ways that you can use Facebook ads to retarget people, form custom audiences, lookalike audiences, to continue to promote either new sales funnels or down your existing sales funnel.
Yeah.
Up to the point where, again, they either purchase one of your do-it-yourself programs or decide to work with you one-on-one.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I've learnt so much from that, and I definitely know that our audience will. So I know the girls will want to get more information from you and love to work with you. So how can we contact you and work with you? Where can we go to find you?
All right, I'm easy to find. So, on Facebook, I am on the Facebook page Agnes Aldana Apple Bites. So if you just even start typing Agnes Aldana, Aldana being Aldana, you'll start to see it. So that's my Facebook page. And my website is agnesaldana.com. I highly encourage people to actually download my free guide to list building, because it's an amazing guide to list building, and it's agnesaldana.com/free-guide. So even if you just end up on the homepage, you're going to see it anyway. So,
and I have that download, and it is amazing. So
okay.
There you go.
I'm glad you like it. So it's not just a generic checklist of make sure you have an ad, make sure you have emails. It actually delves down into what are those really important elements that you need to have right, the foundations you need to have right, if you are going to go into list building at all. And I know it's a no-brainer. You want to go into list building. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And I see you're amazing. I see the work that you do and the amazing ads that you have up there and the amazing work that you've been doing with your clients. And it is a test to what you're doing at the moment. So I can see it working for yourself. And so I can very much see the power in it. I love it.
Thanks, Teresa.
So good.
It's amazing to hear. Yes. We need to walk our talk, right?
Exactly.
So I'm glad you're seeing my Facebook ads, because that means I'm using the right targeting.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you coming on a Saturday and having a chat with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. Excellent. Well, that was the end of our session today. And I will be putting the links so that you can find Agnes and the amazing work that she does below. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let us know. And I might even be able to encourage Agnes to come back and talk to us live again in the future. So thank you so much, and we'll chat again soon.